How to get record profits from your business. We're going to talk about that today. Get your coffee and we'll talk about it. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's get rid of that windshield there. So how's it going? I'm feeling pretty motivated this morning. I'm trying a new morning routine. We'll see how that plays out. Instead of engrossing myself in negative YouTube shorts, I'm going to not do that. Let's see how that works out. Let's see. What else? I'm already not even a minute into this. I'm already giving you the ums. This week has been okay dispatch wise. It's been, I've had a couple of broker loads that I had to call on, but rates are kind of all over the place. There's some areas where the rates are way above average, and then there are areas where they're like you're kidding, right? So it's interesting. Sometimes it's in the same market. Like I called on a load or emailed on a load. That normally is around, I'd say about 1,500. And, and the 30-day had it at 16. And, when they want it lower, it's about 14. Sometimes you can get 17 for it, that kind of thing. And everybody else was along those lines, was in that range. I don't know, I got a pen in my hand. Last thing I need to do is start clicking it. Jeez. They were at like 900. And I thought, well, maybe the mileage is off. And I looked, no, the miles is on there. So I emailed the guy and said, of course he didn't have the rate posted. So, he emails me information and said, we're at 900 on this. And I'm like, okay, well, I alluded to the fact that my truck was going to have to deadhead a little bit to get there, like quite a bit, like 160 miles. I said that rate's not even worth that deadhead. And I said it in a nice, professional way, but the guy replied, I don't pay for deadhead. I wasn't asking you to. I was just saying that the rate didn't justify me going to get that load. It didn't justify it because there was other loads in the area that were paying at least 20% more posted, not counting what I can negotiate. So there are people that, well, no, I won't get into that, but I will say this. I got to stay focused. I apologize. Sometimes it's like you just run into, and I'm sure brokers do this with drivers as well, but you just run into a broker that's just like, dude, what are you doing? Either your customer doesn't know what it takes to move this load, or you don't know what it takes to get this load, or you are looking for the lowest totem truck that's not going to negotiate rate. Last night, Jeff was live, and they were talking about, him and Sandman were talking about negotiating in tolls. Now, if you call in a broker, let's say you're getting a load from, say, Springfield to, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which I know for a fact it's about $230 in tolls if you take 76 all the way. And there are two types of brokers. One's going to go, this is the rate, screw you, this is what I'm sticking to. And then he's hoping for the guy that won't negotiate those tolls. So let's say they got a posted rate of $1,500. You go like, hey, I'll do your $1,500, but you need to add another $200 for tolls. Because according to my toll calculator, and I give him an exact number with cents and everything, this is what I need to move this load. The broker that is looking for the cheapest truck doesn't want the guy that does that homework, doesn't want the driver that itemizes like that. They want the cheapest truck regardless because that's what their customer wanted or that's what they want. And we're going to get into the record profit thing here in a second. So just know when you enter the spot market, this is what you're up against. You've got brokers that truly want to move the load, serve the customer. They make a profit. Their customer's happy and you make a profit. And then there's the broker that just wants the lowest totem pole guy that doesn't do his homework, that doesn't know what his costs are, that doesn't know how to negotiate. And everybody there's if you post a rate, then you kind of get a ballpark where they've already set the anchor, right? By them setting the anchor by putting the rate on the load. However, if they don't put a rate on there, they're hoping that you've got your pricing together. It's they either don't post a rate. One of the reasons why they may not post a rate is because they want to see how low you'll go because you're desperate. Or they have a rate so low that they don't want to post that because they want to get phone calls. And so we can sit there in our YouTubes and say, yeah, negotiate your tolls, negotiate this, negotiate that. But when you're dealing with brokers, not all of them, but some of them, that only want the lowest truck. This is something that CDN and Eric, I try to tell them, is in the generic drive-in world of which I live in, those are the majority of brokers. They want the lowest totem pole. They don't care about your truck. They don't care about your record. They're just hoping that you don't get, fraud them. And they'll post stuff for $1 a mile and tell you to F off if you don't accept it. And so the broker relationship, that's when you find the brokers that don't do that don't work like that. Those are the people you want. So it's about how you partner. Now, this isn't the record profit thing. I'm going to get into that. You're going to love this. But we're going to get into the comments first, and then I'm going to show you this thing on the screen that's going to make you go, huh. And you're going to see why I'm a little bit jaded. All right? So, and I'll tell you why I'm jaded, not for the reasons that you think. So, my name is Nobody. Good morning. The trucker named Tim. Good morning. David Edwards. Good morning. Steve in chat. Last day of training. Weather has been brutal, but an amazing learning experience. Yes, David, you have learned in the wintertime. That is valuable. That is worth its weight in gold. You are, don't get cocky, don't get complacent, but you've definitely seen some extremes probably, hopefully in the last 2 weeks. And welcome to trucking, my friend. Toga, what's up? Cheap Freight Hauler, good morning from Georgia. Nice and warm down there. We're actually above 30s now, so it's kind of nice. I'm actually wearing a t-shirt and all that. So good morning. Toga says good morning to everybody else. Everybody's having a conversation. Hellman Trucking, good morning. Good to see you. Josh the Vegan, hope you're doing all right. Sterling, what's up? Good morning, kids, as he would say. CDN, good morning, Steve. Hold out for Q2. All the carriers and brokers who bid RFP will realize they underbid. Tender rejections will be through the roof. I think starting Q2, many will try to rebid. That's good insight. I partially agree with you. I can kind of see that scenario playing out, and that's what we said. I've been predicting more of the third quarter. But spring stuff is starting to ship. I'm starting to see my charcoal. I'm starting to see the mulch. I'm starting to see the plastic flowers will be happening soon for Memorial Day. So, but you are correct. Everybody timestamp that. Let's see if CDN's right. Most of the time he is. And then, let's see. DIY semi, boo, trucking. We still got to do our book report, DIY. Let's see. Either they're trying to make a week's pay on one load, their customer is cheap, or the agent sucks at doing his or her job. The other thing is that, let's say you're an agent for a bigger corporation, and normally you have 50 loads on your computer screen, and then it's down to 10. They're going to want more profit margin. They're going to want to keep their commission. So that's a big part of it as well. I've literally had 2 or 3 brokers tell me that in the years past. So Steve, this goes back to what I've been saying for months. We need to change the spot market and break out accessorial fees. Those brokers who don't like it will go away over time, start requesting breakdown. Yes, I agree with that. I hold records in May categories. Unfortunately, most of those categories are very bad. Let's see. DIY. Semi in the house. Yep. Cascade. They might be fishing for a low rate. Know your costs and set the anchor high. What's the worst that can happen? They say no to your rate and they try to set a new anchor point. So that's the thing. And look, I highly suggest the book that DIY read that CDN gave us about negotiating. I highly suggest that. If someone wants to put that up there, they can. Never Split the Difference is the name of the book. Knowing how to price is important too, because some people price themselves out of work. Some people price themselves to where they don't move the truck for 3 or 4 days, or sitting at the truck stop eating tornadoes and wondering why their life sucks. Because you're asking for $3 a mile in a $1.60 market. So, so there's that. It sounds like a freaking broken record, and it gets frustrating to me. Know your cost, know your worth, and know the lane value that you're in. It's as simple as that. You can take all these formulas. You don't need no courses. You don't need 83, YouTube videos to tell you how to negotiate. Just know your costs, know your business, know your lanes. Use the tools that are provided, and get your head out of your ass. How about that? Most people just need to do that, and they'll be fine. So, 64, 8 a.m. Very good. Maybe trucking logistics industry has dropped us all with the freedom card. Go be an independent driver or broker. You get to do what you want and make more money. We all have Have we all made more money? No, and I'm going to explain that here in a second. Shannon, good morning. Everybody saying hi. It's a balmy 24 here in South Canada. I had a truck up in your close to your area there yesterday. About 3 weeks till my spring nursery run starts, so that will take the trucks off the spot market. Good. I know one nursery that went under. I meant to say duped. Okay. Man, this, let's see, Going to be 63 today. Bye-bye snow. Good deal. Flooding kicks in. Put a 5 in the chat if a broker called or emailed you for a quote this week. Let's see. 5. All right, so record profits. How many of you, in Tennessee, I see you in here, okay? Pay attention to this, and Sam and you as well. How many of you, especially if you own a Kenworth or a Peterbilt, either went out of business or got close to going out of business because of the cost of your repairs and your maintenance? How many of you had that? Because here I'm going to show you something. And this is why if you want to enter the trucking world, I don't care if it's spot market or not, you better be aware of this. Okay? You better be aware that the cards are stacked against you. You think you're making more money and you go out and buy that new F-150 and you know you buy some timeshares, right? But let's listen to this. Let's see if I can zoom this in. PACCAR achieves record annual revenues and net income. That means even their net was better. Bellevue, Washington, Business Wire. PACCAR reported record annual revenues and net income in 2023, said Preston Fate, Chief Executive Officer. PACCAR's excellent results reflect record deliveries of premium quality DAF, Peterbilt, and Kenworth trucks worldwide, record truck parts and other gross margins, and strong financial services performance. I am very proud of our employees and dealers who have delivered outstanding trucks and transportation solutions to our customers. You see that? How many of you drive in a Kenworth right now with injector issues? Huh? How many of you got a new truck and it's falling apart already? How many of you have that fancy new digital dash and it's giving you the middle finger? How many of you? And this is Kenworth saying, hey, look, or PACCAR saying, hey, look, we're so awesome. We've made so much money. Yay. Yay us. Meanwhile, labor's between $200 and $250 an hour at the dealerships. And I know people that have put 20, 30, 40, even 50 grand into a truck. You know, luckily, hopefully it's warranty work, but I know for some of you it wasn't. You see, here's the thing. How do you get record profits? Well, you charge out the ass and hope that things go well. That's how you get record profits. You put up this narrative that there's a shortage of things, so now you can like up the price on everything. Remember the guy that upped the price of insulin just because he wanted to? I'm sure he showed a record profit. Actually, Big Pharma shows a big profit of you know, in the billions. You see, the cards are stacked against you. And if you're sitting at a truck stop right now, and you haven't moved for 2 or 3 days, because nothing looks good. You have no idea what your cost per day is. You have no idea what your cost per mile is. You have no idea your money going out, and you barely got anything coming in. Just know that that truck you're sitting in, your second home, or maybe your only home, is a ticking time bomb that's meant for profit. Because when a Kenworth dealership or a Peterbilt dealership does warranty work, they're still making their profit. Now, it may not be any money out of your pocket, but you're sitting. You're relying on a piece of equipment that isn't very reliable. And this goes with all trucks. I don't care if it's a Volvo, Peterbilt, Mack. I don't care. Any of them. They're all designed to be this way. They're all designed to take money from you. And so you have to do what you can. Have a strategy in place that minimizes this at the very most. Because this is how business is done in 2024. This is how truck manufacturers are working. Because their profits mean nothing to you. Like they don't care if you go out of business. They don't care if your family gets homeless because you couldn't make your rent because your truck was down for a month because of bad injectors. They don't care about that. They throw a warranty and say, sorry about that. Put some hows in the system. You'll be okay. So let alone let's choose a platform, whether it's spot market, contract freight, direct customers, company driver, owner operator, lease operator. It doesn't matter. You're all a part of this machine that I'm displaying in front of you. They sat there and said, "Oh, there's a shortage of trucks, so let's charge $240,000 for them." Where in the old days, at least 5 years ago, 240 bought you one of those big AR sleeper custom, mobile home type trucks. Now it gets you a fancy seat package maybe. But hey, they've got record profits. And then they put this out to the investors. The investors are like, oh yeah, do more of the same. Now, will this bite them in the butt like it did with some of the brokers? Because there was a lot of brokers last year that were recording record profits. And ironically, some of these same brokers are now laying people off. So will this bite them in the butt? Will they price themselves to where no one can afford a new truck? Or the only ones that can afford a new truck are the big carriers? Or the people willing to give you a predatory leasing program? This is what frustrates me. I had an old friend from YouTube call me and said that, his company ordered 90 new T680s with the PACCAR engine. They got the shipment of first 30. 6 of them had blown engines. They had so many problems with the others that they canceled the other 60. Now, I'm a big Kenworth fan. I love Kenworth. I own one. In fact, the only 2 trucks I've owned one was a Peterbilt, one was a Kenworth. But look at International, what they went through years ago with the Max Force. They knowingly put out that engine, knowing that it wasn't tested, knowing that it was going to screw up, which is why you get a killer warranty on all International trucks now. You know why? Because a warranty is nothing but a big, sorry, this is going to screw up on you. Now, if the payments were manageable or if the repair cost was manageable, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when you're paying $4,000 a month for a truck, bank don't care that it's down for a month. The bank doesn't care that there's a 2-week waiting list just to get in your local dealership. Your landlord doesn't care. And that's something that you have to keep in mind if you decide you want to be an owner-operator or a lease operator. Can you survive if the truck goes down, and hope that you have a warranty? That's this system, I'm pointing, this system right here is against you. They're raking up all the cash. Look, I'm all about capitalism. I'm all about making a profit. But this is crap because they knowingly have they know they have injector issues. They know they have other issues. And they're trying to get on that electric bandwagon, which, the Ford F-150 Lightning, did you guys hear about that? They're laying off all those employees, or most of those employees that make the F-150 Lightning, because interest in electric trucks or electric vehicles has dropped dramatically. Arctic Plunge have anything to do with that? See, the corporations think they know what you need because they've lost touch with who their customer base is. And that's what you're up against. Now, am I saying that you can't make money in trucking? Absolutely you can. You can make money in trucking. You can profit. But just know the forces that are against you, the fight that you have ahead of you. And if you're in a situation where that check engine light comes on and you're freaking the F out and your anxiety goes through the roof, you're probably not in a good place. So, there you go. You guys been commenting like crazy. DIY Semi. Why isn't everybody as mad at PACCAR as they are at C.H. Robinson for having record profits? Inconsistent, right? With both feet, good morning. I don't even know if anybody's mad at PACCAR. I'm not really mad at PACCAR. You know why? Because it doesn't affect me. But there are people out there that I know that went out of business because of a PACCAR product. There are people out there that are struggling right now because they have a PACCAR product. And again, I like Kenworth and Peterbilt, but all these trucking manufacturers have a different business model than even 10 years ago. Switching to airplane mode. Are you flying with both feet? Please endorse ProStars. Make it for $1.25. Oh, absolutely. My Peterbilt ate my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No one would refinance the truck. No choice. Had to go out of business and did most of the repairs myself, right? Tennessee tried to mitigate some of the costs by doing his own repairs, and it still took him out. Cascade, who's got a truck identical to mine. Last year, my maintenance cost was $54.95 a month and 59 cents per mile. Yeah. I bet you didn't see record profit, did you? When only 3 carriers out of the 44 in this chat have been called for a quote, the rest of you have not built any quality relationships. You're not top of mind to a broker and not found on Google. 2023 680 here, 123,000 miles. Been in the shop twice, both times. Planned day off, zero repair, no problems with digital dash. Now I've got hundreds of pages of repairs on a Volvo in weeks, months of downtime. Yes. They're all the same. All the truck manufacturers are the same. And it's the luck of the draw. I got lucky with my truck. I really did. And I knew that luck was going to run out. You know, somebody, another YouTuber was criticizing that I shouldn't have sold my truck. What if Jeff goes under? What if Jeff just like says, see ya? It's not like I can't go out and get another truck. Or another job, right. So, you know, my son's listening, I guess. And it's not that big deal. This is the root of spot market issues, says CDN. TK, what's up? Desert Oaky Pam, Pop Tart. Truckers Education Network, good morning. Cost of repairs multiplied by downtime plus an $800 per week payment and lower freight rates equal disaster. Yes. The Tennessee was a good runner. Man, I could throw any load at him and he'd take it. He would be a day early on a lot of stuff. I mean, he kicked ass and took names. He was a pleasure to dispatch. He was one of Like Trucking's top guys. But it was the truck. This recipe he shows up here. Profit is not a dirty word. Let's see how they do this year since the repo lots are full. That's what I'm saying, cheap freight hauler. Just like the brokers last year were recording record profits. Let's see what next year brings for them. But I'm thinking that they padded everything pretty good. So I said at the start of 2024, we have talked significant about strategies for success in 23. Focus on action is required in 24. However, it seems talk is easier than action to make change. That is true. I'm not getting your point here, Steve. Complaining about PACCAR making record profits is like complaining about the price of fuel. End of the day, people still bought at the inflated prices. It's not that I'm complaining about their profit. I'm saying that their profit is largely due to the raising in prices and has put a lot of people out of business. So just because a company reports record profits doesn't mean that, you know, my whole point is if you buy a truck, just know that the cards are stacked against you because of costs and the record profits that that like PACCAR is making is evidence that they're pricing stuff really high so they can pad those costs. Did anyone get the big reveal from Volvo? Yes, I there's a video out there. I have not watched it, but I have seen pictures of the truck. It looks nice. That's way bigger than trucking, right? Revenue and profits are two separate line items. Carriers are capable of great revenue, but your high expenses make high profits difficult. Plan a truck note or maintenance fund is forever. Right. I mean, you know, just look, you got people trying to raise a family of 5 or 6, you know, or 4 or 5 with a depreciating asset that's costing more and more every year to run. It's not that I'm complaining about PACCAR's profit is like just the fact that their profit is coming at the cost of a lot of people. I know good business owners that went out of business because their truck just was too much. I ordered a new Peterbilt 570 a couple weeks ago. It's a 2021 and will be delivered February 3rd. We are going to delete it as well. Well, you don't want to admit that online. You always have options to get back in. It's easy. I know DIY. It's too easy to get back in. You don't even have to have a good credit score or money down to get back in, right? if all manufacturers say maybe it's not a manufacturer problem, maybe it's a problem of how drivers go about getting their trucks. Nobody forces us to finance everything up to your eyeballs. That's true. Look, that's kind of what I'm saying is like the best way, in my opinion, is to have your truck payments at an affordable rate with a good warranty. That way when the truck goes down, it's not taking all your money out of the bank. A manageable payment, manageable costs. It's that simple. And it's getting harder and harder to find those manageable payments. You know, hey, I can get a new truck, no money down. I mean, I don't think that's possible right now, but, you know, imagine that. You know, if I wanted a brand new truck, I would want to do like 60 grand down just to get the payments low, low. How many of you have 60 grand in the bank? That keeps the payments pretty reasonable. You know, I have a friend of mine that has a Volvo, and he's doing pretty good. His payments are manageable because he put a big down payment on it, and his truck's under a 6-year warranty. The life of the loan, actually beyond the life of the loan. That's how you do it. Either that or a full maintenance lease if you can score it, where that check engine light comes on. It's not your problem. Maybe spend as much time planning your financial moves as we do looking for the right load or the perfect truck. Packar's mad at the brokers. Marty. We removed the one box and okay, I'm not reading or deleting stuff. Cheap freight hauler, stop using reason and logic. We run pure emotion around here. Well, we got the new big grills. Should be gold. It's ISX 15. I think any complaint Steve had was not them making profit, but their claim that the profit reflects the quality of the product. Yes. Thank you, Mrs. A. It's disingenuous. There you go. There you go, Stuart, if you're still listening. Steve, also know that very few paid those stupid prices posted on Facebook at the time. My well option 680 was 186,000. The same time they were listing for 230K. Yeah, if you paid over $200,000 for a truck, you're having a tough time right now. There's no way. You can call me a wimp. You can call me a wuss. You can call me a loser. You can call me whatever word you want. But there is no freaking way that I'm going to purchase an item that I can't rely on 100% for $200,000+. That's just not going to happen. Call me what you will. Absolutely the truck. Like trucking, Jeff and Steve helped me as much as they could. I would still be running with like trucking on the side of my truck today if truck would have worked. Mechanic says you should never finance a depreciating asset. There are other states where it's not allowed. Pop-Tart. Look, trust me, DPF systems, that's another big part of the profit. The unreliable of DPF systems, those are money makers. Holy moly. Charge you to plug in the truck, charge you to regen it, charge you to all these parts that are supposed to help regen it. You know, there was a day and age where your biggest expense on a truck repair was an engine. That was it. That was about 40 grand. Now that same engine, 60 grand, And that doesn't even count the DPF. So, manufacturers have focused too heavily on new technology and in the process have given up reliability. I love technological innovations, but equipment still has to run and be affordable to operate. Yes, I agree with that, Pam. Pam had an issue with her truck that they actually had to fly engineers from international to figure it out. Right? Am I right with that? Am I misremembering that, Pam? My valve cover, fuel rail, and coolant return all had small leaks. I took the Freightliner and all the gaskets were still under warranty at $244K. That was cool. Very good. What is a reasonable payment? About $2,500. I wouldn't go any higher than $2,500 because I've seen $2,500 survive good markets and bad markets. That's the magic number in my book. From what I see, if you're running generic dry van reefer freight for a new truck. Now, if you're paying that for a used truck out of warranty, it's still somewhat manageable, but there's definitely going to be some challenges. Because Cascade, you mentioned that your maintenance was about $5,400 a month. Imagine if you had a truck payment on top of that. I just want the government to pay for repairs downtime if they force emission control through law. Right? We don't need them involved, though. Essentially, I put $80K down and finance $120. That includes APU. 13 months later, I owe less than $50K on it. There you go. Cheap freight hauler. He knows how to handle that, right? There you go. DIY, if you're in Springfield, I will buy you breakfast, lunch, and or dinner. Whatever you want, man. How come nobody's talking about Landstar forcing any BCOs with an address in California to move to a non-California address or have contract canceled to avoid AB5 issue? I did not know Landstar was doing that. I knew that Landstar stopped hiring in California, but I didn't realize they were telling their guys to leave. So unless you sent me the article, I overlooked it, CDN. I did not know that. Emissions control is for the ones that don't understand it, and diesel ECM can be reprogrammed. We have our own shop. It's not illegal, but they control you and will not cover your warranty. And for some people, that warranty is the only lifeline they have. That's why I'm getting at. Truck and deletes are illegal everywhere. The EPA arrested 150 single truck owners 8 months ago for running deleted trucks, including a tow company here in Springfield. He had deleted half his trucks, and the guy's in jail now. And they're out of business. So, it happens. Any Landstar drivers who did move were likely not given any moving allowance from Landstar. No. They're like, hey, if you want to stay in business, move out of California or a part of our business. And here's the thing with California. California is trying to kill small businesses, and they're doing it. They're doing it with big businesses. All these manufacturers that were centered in California are leaving because of all the laws and government going on in California. And that's Landstar's thing. Well, I guess we're just going to move you out. So how are they going to handle the big law? The contractor law that's coming. How are they handling that? They better leave Cali before they start taxing businesses for leaving. They already do that with pensions. I've read somewhere that pensions and anything that if you leave California, there's like a tax that you have to, like California doesn't want you leaving with that money. We could do a whole video or a whole episode about freaking California, but they suck. Don't go there. That's don't live there. Is it a beautiful state? Yeah, in the country. On some of the beaches that haven't been ruined yet. Landstar, like all large companies, does not want anything to do with California, right? And look, if I was at Landstar and I lived in California, I probably would have had a heads up if I was paying attention that things were going to get rough for me, or any contractor out in California. So, I mean, if someone's waking up going, oh man, I got to move, huh? Yeah, they weren't paying attention. There's the link. You want to email me that link there, CDN? We'll read it. We'll read it. I have a 6NZ with over 2.5 million miles, and it's just a plain diesel engine. Do your thing, my friend. I'm just saying it's not a Cali thing. It's a Fed thing, and there is a real risk. What you're saying is not illegal to rob a store unless you get caught. They flew. Okay, so Pam says they flew 2 engineers out of Navistar. One rode in the truck with the laptop plugged in and tweaked the programming. I never got an answer why the flash worked on their trucks, but not on mine. I'll wait on CDN. So while we're waiting on CDN to send me the email, let's take a look at the low boards. Now, is that, oh, there it is. Hold on. Ding. All right. Thank you, CDN. Let's get this on the screen here. Trucking Dive. I don't think I've heard of this news source. Oh, look at that beautiful Landstar truck. Looks like a Schneider Finance truck. Oh, man. Landstar is telling its owner-operators in California that they will need to relocate out of state if they want to remain independent contractors with the carrier or pursue other options due to the looming implementation of Labor Law AB 5. During a Q2 earnings call, Vice President and Chief Safety and Operations Officer Joe Beacon said that they've been making owner-operators partners aware of the legal update as well as the options for the business to relocate out of California or not haul California-originating loads or switch to their own authority. The company is also preparing for a scenario which states outside California can enact similar laws, with Beacon noting the carriers will put Landstar trailers in the hands of carriers on certain businesses if necessary. What's the date of this article? Oh, this is an old article. This is July 26, 2022. But I'll finish reading this. Some 70,000 owner-operators in California could have their businesses upended depending on how the state enforces the AB 5 labor law, which could reclassify independent contractors. Following Supreme Court fallout, California agencies have yet to clarify when enforcement could begin, and the governor's office said earlier this month it's looking into concerns from the trucking industry. State departments haven't returned a request for comment for Transport Drive regarding timing. Large carriers have been preparing for implementation of AB 5 since it was passed in 2019. Beacom said they developed a playbook at that time, preparing for it and putting a lot of planning into it. Similarly, JB Hunt said they've been watching the law basically since 2018 and discontinued independent contractors operating their authority. Out there, we provide either JB Hunt employees or we use brokerage to other motor carriers so that we feel very confident it's not going to interrupt our business, he said. See, I've said this before and I'll say it again. JB Hunt, Schneider, they all were preparing for all of this. The total number of owner-operators who lease from Landstar is 11,000, which I believe it's down to 9 right now. They've lost quite a bit. This is a 2-year-old article. It's a relatively small number of guys, 365 BCOs, and those are the options. And we're helping them work through that process. So 365, which I imagine only half of them are still in business, had to figure something out. So... but thank you for the article there. Landstar telling drivers to move out of California sure takes away from the independent. Is Landstar admitting their BCO should really be W-2? That's a great question. That is a great question. So, anyways, let's take a look at the low boards here. Like I said, rates are kind of all over the place. Some are above the averages, some are below. And that is due to the weather. The weather has created these dynamics. It's created some urgency with some loads, and it's created a lot of cancellations as well. So the weather is calming down. Let me take a look here. Let's see if there's any warnings out there. Ooh, what's this? Okay, this map looks colorful. Let's see what's going on here. Lance says active trucks at Landstar is 8365. So think about that. So they went from 11,000 to 8365 since what was it, July 26, 2022? That's a huge percentage. Wow. Thank you, Lance. Imagine that. I remember the trucker stable. He did a video with Pale Rider, complaining about all the bad things that Landstar was doing that he didn't like, and a lot of it was the trailers that he was complaining about. And I know other people have complained about trailers, especially at Schneider. You got to cut costs to keep that profit up. And unfortunately, that means neglecting some equipment sometimes. But yeah, to go from 11,000 to 8,300, that's a big drop. So I don't think they're too worried about whether they lose another 365 out of California. I imagine that's probably part of that number that decreased. So, anyways, a lot going on this map. Let's see what these gray. See what this gray is here. Oh, it's fog. Okay, that's not a big deal. It is foggy because it got warm, or warmer, I would say. Let's see what these. Got a lot of flash flooding going on south of I-10 there. You got some winter stuff going on. Winter weather advisory up there through Kansas, mid Kansas, and then up in the New England area, of course. Half of New York, all of the rest of the states, with most of Maine. I've got a truck up there, so that might affect me. And let's see what the light green is. Flood advisory, or no? Hydrologic outlook. What else does that mean? Heavy rain, fog, mist. So not too bad. Not like last week. So other than Kansas and New England and parts of Colorado, or no, I'm sorry, Utah. I don't know my states. And a little bit of the Northwest, man. You're doing all right. So nothing that won't take you out. Lance says, CDN, I can't decide what state I want to hire a contractor out of. I would say better be a W-2 driver with a carry who offers 401k, health fund, paid vacation. You have no truck costs. Lloyd, good morning, everyone, from Port Wentworth, Georgia, heading to Ocala today, pulling FedEx freight. I'm still seeing a lot of accidents the past few days in Florida, of all places where there's no snow. I think Florida is just because it's so flat, so easy to drive, you fall asleep. You're like, not paying attention or being in a hurry. So, but thanks for coming in, Lloyd. Mr. Charles, good morning. Now, does someone have the article about Freightliner and their dealerships? Someone was talking about that on Jeff Speed last night. Someone find that article and send it to me. All right, so here's the van. Let's see. Let's take a look at Missouri. About $3,000, almost $3,000 to get to St. Louis to Homestead, Florida. You go visit CDN, Union, Missouri to Saskatoon. Pacific to Nashville, that's probably going to be paper. Webb City to Denver, $348 a mile. Wow, that's high. That's higher than I've seen it in a while. So $2,400 to go to Denver. Lebanon to Chattanooga, $217 a mile, $1,300. So rates have gone up a little bit from what I was seeing before. $307 to go to Montgomery, Alabama from St. Louis. Let's take a look at this one. Steve or Chat can provide better insight. I would say if you're hiring W-2, they must be same city or base so you can see the truck each day a week. You have to keep onto W-2 short leash. Yes, y'all, stay safe. I got to get some coffee in my shop. They're finishing up the truck and getting it done. I have a couple of 150-gallon tanks to get rid of. Take them out back and shoot them. Pop-Tart, that'd be great. Use it for target practice. Make sure they're empty first. See. St. Louis, Montgomery, Alabama picks up Friday and delivers 10 a.m. on Monday, right? Yep, Monday. But then coming out of Alabama might be a bit of a chore, but no, there's 189 loads coming out of Montgomery. And even more out of the state. So let's see. Sykeston to Ochalata, Oklahoma. I think that's how you say it. That's Walmart. That's going to be Walmart. Sykeston, that's going to be, what's the weight on this? No weight. Oh, yeah, 43.39. That's going to be soda, generic soda going to Walmart. So Sam's Choice. Done that load a few times. They're at 1,500. Man, almost $359 a mile to do that run. Wow. Picks up today at 12. Delivers tomorrow at 7 p.m. There's a truck stop right there out of Ochalata for 18 miles. That's a good run there. Let's see. So, yeah, rates are up, man. Joplin to Zachary, Louisiana. This needs to be a little bit higher because Louisiana's a bit of a struggle to come out. $42.5 on the weight. Axle Logistics, they're at 1,200. Cargo Chiefs got it about 17. Now let's take a look at this Kansas City to Missouri to Dodge City, Kansas. This is awfully high. See what's going on with it. Hazmat, there we go. $4 a mile to do hazmat from Kansas City to Dodge City. So they're paying $1,400 on 343 miles. 30,000 pounds. That would be a good load if you have hazmat authority. Let's see. But insurance, blah, blah, blah. Cost, blah, blah, blah. You know, you get it. You get the gist. It's going to cost more. Pacific to Zanesville. Here's a load I would do probably. No rate posted. They're at Cargo Chiefs got about 13. Picks up tomorrow. How many miles is that? 516. Deliver it Friday. Be in Ohio on a Friday. Go wherever you want. So. Pick a load that you would book right now. Sure, I can do that. So create new search. Springfield Mo. Let's do 100-mile radius. No, we'll keep it at 150. That gets us in some of the other areas. Pick up today. We'll do today and tomorrow. Apply. Search. All right, so let's say this is my truck, my load. What am I going to do? All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is post this or filter this by posted age. See what the last minute stuff's popping up. As you can see, 58 seconds, 59. It's real time update. Now I'm going to have to count deadheads. So this Russellville, probably not a great load because that mileage is off. So I wouldn't do that. So there's quite a bit posted right now. So that's good. So let's sort this by highest rate. Lenexa, that's Kansas City area, going to Reno, Nevada. I wouldn't do that, even though it's 250 mile, $4,000. Getting out of Nevada is not an easy feat. Definitely not none of these west ones. Deltona, Florida. Let's look at this one. Let's see how far down. Yeah, that's a little far south. That might be on the maybe list, depending on what my needs were. But more than likely, I'm going to pick something shorter. Let's see. I'm scanning. Joplin and Valdosta, 950 miles. They're at $232 a mile. But I've got a way to get out of Georgia, so that would be on the list. Let's see. Monroe, Ohio. Let's take a look at this one. Springfield, Kansas. A little bit of a deadhead, but picks up today at 7 p.m. I don't like that, so we'll just take that off right there. Let's see. Traverse, Glasgow. That's a bit of a drive, but we'll take a look at this one. Let's see. 1,400. 25,000 on the weight. That's a good low. When's it pick up? Picks up tomorrow. Traverse City, Michigan. That's a good spot. Michigan's usually pretty good. I don't know about the deadhead, though. The deadhead would bring that way down, so I don't know if I would do that. So let's sort this by deadhead, see what pops up. A bunch of stuff out of Springfield. Here we go. Springfield to Champaign. I know what this is. This is going to be craft coming out of the caves. It doesn't pick up till 7, but I know Kraft. I could probably go in early, see if they would take me about 1 or 2. Delivers next day at 2:30, so I'm going to lose probably if I pick it up. Say it picks up on the 25th. That's Thursday. Friday night, I don't know about that. Because I do know that Kraft sometimes takes a little bit long to unload there in Champaign. If this is what that is, indeed. So this is not a good load for me. Notice I haven't looked at the rate yet, right? I mean, I did sort it by highest rate, but that was bringing me all the West Coast stuff. Carthage to Oklahoma City. That might be all right, but if that's delivering AWG, I don't want it. Mountain Grove, Missouri to Meta, Missouri. That rate's probably not even worth the day. Here we go. Grab this Webb City to Lenexa and then grab a Lenexa anywhere I want for the weekend. So if this picks up tomorrow, delivers 6 a.m. to Lenexa, that's probably going to be Cisco. So if I grab, so I probably get out of there about 10 or 11. And then out of Lenexa, I can go wherever I want. Now, if I want to go out west, I can grab a Lenexa to Phoenix. Go visit Desert Oak PM out there. 43 on the weight. Orange 0. Yep, this is going to be soda coming out of Webb City. So I know both these customers. So this would be a good shorty. I probably want about 650 on it, though. And Webb City is about 78 miles from me. So this would be a good shorty, and then stage myself Friday for the next load. So, trucking with T-Bone, good morning. Cascade putting the link to the YouTube for the Freightliner. Okay. Morning, y'all, from the PNW, heading back towards the Midwest. Good deal. So loads are not picked based off of fact. Residents of, say, Reno need those supplies. It's all money driven. On spot market without contract freight, our grocery store shelves would be half empty. I'm not sure what you're asking there. So how I pick the load is different. Every carrier's needs. Like, for example, there's a need for product to come out of Denver. It happens. But I'm trying to stay in a box, right? I'm not going to take a load to Reno because, number one, I'm not familiar with the Reno market. Number two, now if I had a return load out of Reno, I would take it. But you have to be money driven to survive because of your truck. If there is a need for trucks to go into Reno, they will pay to go into Reno. That's why they pay to go into Florida. Now, what boggles my mind is they're not paying to go out to California. So if we sort this by rate, we'll find the California stuff. Here we go. Sacramento. Spring Hill to Sacramento. Actually, they're paying them above where they have been on this one. So, I digress. I'm wrong. Cargo Chiefs got it at 35. They're at 37.48. They're at 215 a mile. I have not seen a 215 a mile going out to California in a long time. So either this has got multiple stops or there's something jacked with it. Or they're actually paying to go into California now. Those dynamics I said that we're going to change are changing. Oh, is this breaking news? See, Cascade's going to be back in a truck. Breaking news. Sandman is going back to trucking. You'll have to call me and tell me all about it there, Mr. Sandman. Now, I've got freight that comes out of Denver I can grab. So if I grab this Linux at the Grand Junction, Colorado. Now, this is for me. This is not for any truck I would dispatch, right? This is for me. 22 set 570 on the weight. Straight shot down 70, you're good to go. So when I dispatch another truck, we're looking at their needs, what their goals are, what they're willing to do. You know, some guys want to do nothing but long haul. Some guys want to do nothing but multiple stops. Some guys just want to run short 300-mile runs. So now, if I wanted to do short 300-mile runs, there's not much on this load board, is there? So we can sort this by trip. Oh, there's a few. But you're looking at 400, 500. Oh, here's one. Council Bluffs, Iowa. Kansas City to Council Bluffs, 750. Oh, it's hazmat, though. That was the one we looked at earlier. Here's Bell, Missouri to Kansas City, Kansas. You know what this is? This is going to be charcoal going to AWG. Either that or Clorox. So I know my market, right? If I go to Reno, what am I going to look at? You're right, Steve. You would think that California loads are always high due to regulations to run the state of California. So here's what happened, right? So back when you were getting crazy, stupid rates out of California because of what was happening in the ports, they were not paying to go in. And so it was literally like 1,000 loads going into California and then literally like 3,000 coming out. Like it was gangbusters. So people would take I knew a guy that would take the hit going into California, then grab one of those $9, $10, $11,000 loads coming out. Well, eventually over time, the port thing got sorted, and now you weren't making as much coming out, so it didn't justify the price of going in. But with the new dynamics, I think that's changing, and I'm seeing evidence of it right here. You know, here in about a week, you'll probably see FreightWaves talk about, hey, you know, rates coming out of California are getting better, or going into California are getting better because they need trucks out there. So if you know, in your example, if Reno needs trucks, if the market's money driven, then all you got to do is pay to go into Reno, because you may not be able to get paid coming out. That's how you get trucks. You want a truck in your area, pay them. Florida if you're a shipper shipping to Florida, you're going to pay a lot more than, say, someone shipping out of Denver. Where is Grand Junction in relation to your loadout? I'm not sure. I want to say it's how far is it from Grand Junction, Colorado to Denver, Colorado? Oh, crap. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Thank you, Cascade. See, I would have looked at that, though. But the loads that I get out of Colorado would justify that 243-mile dead end. So that's how good that is. TJ, best time to come back into trucking is now. If it is in you calling, inflation is starting to go down. Trucks are reasonable pre-election year, so economy will improve magically for freight. Used truck prices are coming down. Life is better with biscuits and gravy, says DIY. I never understood I got to get to Cali to get one of those 10 back east. I can understand it a little bit, but at the same time, when you look at your rate per day, are you really that much ahead? probably, but only if you grab one of those big paying loads coming out of California, because what was happening is you got guys going out to California, and the next thing you know, they can't get anything out, and then they were kind of high and dry. At the end of the 2 weeks, they were like, man, that sucked. That's why I've always been a short, mid-range kind of guy. I think there was one time, as an owner-operator, I did a load from Laredo all the way up to Boise, Idaho. And then I ended up deadheading 300 miles into Utah and grabbed a load of chips going down to Phoenix. So the new January carb reg may be impacting the trucks going to the state. Yes, the registration and all that will be impacting rates. So I've been waiting to see that happen, and now we're starting to see that happen. Yeah, if you want to deadhead 200 miles across I-70 in the winter. Yeah, no, you're right. See, I mean, but these are the things I evaluate. So, yeah, Grand Junction, I just saw the Colorado, so I was not thinking that through. I made a mistake. Forgive me. So, it's after 8, so my YouTube's going off. California often pushes their new regs out. Yeah, but like I said, keep an eye on California. We'll see. It's starting to change. It's starting to change things, so we'll see. Here's another good shorty. Joplin to St. Louis, O'Fallon, Missouri. Picks up tomorrow at 9 a.m. Delivers tomorrow at 1 a.m. I don't like that. 40,000. Probably wouldn't do that one because of that delivery time. Enola, Oklahoma to Fulton. That's a little bit of a deadhead for what they're going to pay on that. Actually, not too bad. If I can get them up to 900, it's 9,800 pounds, not 98,000. Picks up today. Fulton's going to be Dollar General. Bit of a deadhead, though, so I don't know. I'd be better off finding something closer to Springfield. Lebanon to Iowa City, that's a good load. I know that. They're finally paying to go into Dallas. For a while, they weren't even doing that. But Dallas, I'm going to take a hit out of, but that would depend on delivery time. So if it's an open delivery, it's good to go. If it's like 6 a.m. in Dallas, it might be a challenge because of parking and in transit time. Whole kinds of things that you can look at. So there you go, CDN. Liberty, Missouri to Chicago. Bit of a deadhead, but to land in Chicago on a Friday would be a good spot. There you go. Kansas City to Sturtevant, Wisconsin. Grab this one and then grab one of my loads out of Wisconsin that I get on a regular basis that pay well. This would have to, it picks up today. It would have to deliver by 8 o'clock tomorrow so I can make it to where I need to go by 1. So now this is Springfield, Missouri. Look how much freight's here. Quite a bit. Dallas outbound is bad though. Be careful. I know that. Yeah. So I mean, there was I once struggled with that. The best paying loads out of here for a while was going to Dallas. And I know Dallas pretty good, and I know the freight, and I've been in and out of there so many times. I cut my teeth in the area. So I called a buddy of mine that had his own authority out of Dallas. I said, what do you do to come out? He goes, man, just move. Just roll. I grab that $1.45 a mile and wave at the people waiting for $2 a mile at the truck stop, and I get to Missouri. Take my hit to Missouri, and from Missouri I can go wherever I want. That's how he did. And he was home every week, and he had pretty good gross revenue at that time. And that's when I started to learn it wasn't about like what markets you run in is important, but how you handle the markets that you end up in is just as important. You know, if you have to go to Denver, you have a strategy to come out. If you have to go in the Orlando, have a strategy to come out. And just recognize that you're not going to make the same coming out. It's as simple as that. Is Dallas tough to get out of? Well, if I want a shorty to Missouri, let's take a look at that. Let's do. Create new search. Dallas, Texas. And let's do Springfield, but do a 300-mile radius. That will cover all the big cities in St. Louis, plus Tulsa. And we'll do it for today and tomorrow. Search. Highest rate. $1.90 to go from Hazlet, Texas to Olathe. That'd be good. $1.82 to go to Mount Pleasant, Texas to Belton, Missouri. $8.48. Now, my costs per day are fairly low, or were. So these two loads would be good for the daily rate. Now, if I had to sit on this for a weekend, I would want something that went through Springfield, like maybe something to St. Louis. But here's Minola, Texas, directly right to Springfield for $800. I would grab this. I'd talk them up to $850, or at least $9. And as long as I didn't have to worry about the temperatures, I would take this and sit on it. But this looks like it's a straight through delivery. So this is going to AWG because they're the only ones that really receive around here at night. So this would be an excellent day run. So boom. There you go. So what was the other load paying to go down there? Was it $1,200? $1,200 plus 8? So yeah, just learning how to utilize the market. Now, if you want to do long haul, you come back here and you do the highest. Well, there isn't much long haul coming out of Dallas. Well, no, hold on. I'm dumb. Edit search. I got to take out Springfield, Missouri. Let's do anywhere. Search. I apologize. I'm not the smartest candle, people. Come on now. Here we go. Denton to Syracuse. $2,600, 70 mile. That's where he gets rough. So if I'm going to run for $1.80 a mile, I'm going to do it for 300 miles, not 1,000 miles. If that $1.80 is too cheap. Now, let's take a look at this Alexandria, Minnesota. Picks up today. They're above Cargo Chief and the average and rate check. Cost per day reach, yes. Profit per day is $648, and my cost per day are $358. So this would be a good rate per day load. Pick it up today, deliver it Friday, and then Friday being Minnesota. That's not too bad of a deal there. So it's just knowing how to handle that market. Now, why do I know that? Because I know Dallas. KC to Wisconsin is the best one you looked at yet. So now there's a time where they weren't paying to go into Wisconsin, so they're improving on that. So just there's 1,000 ways to do this. You know, and it's hard to teach, right? Because every person's different. What are your goals? What are your business needs? Like, you might want to go to Ohio, but your business is saying, no, you can't do that. And CDM was talking about freedom. You're only truly independent if you can get your costs down. The truck payment dictates how hard you have to work or how smart you have to work. If you got a high truck payment or high costs because, your truck's costing you out the end because it's an old piece of crap, then you really have no choice. You want to be home every weekend? Tough. You got repairs to make. You want to be home every other day? Tough. The market you live in doesn't support that. So freedom is a gray word. What kind of freedom? Freedom to make the choices that you want to make? Sure. But it's only your costs that kind of dictate what your profit needs are, that dictate how much freedom you actually have. Anyways. All right, let's take a look at reefer. Oh, look at that. Looks like a checkerboard here. Utah, Colorado lit up. Texas, of course. California, of course. Texas is going to be a lot of Mexican produce. Yeah, Tennessee's lit up. Virginia's lit up. North Carolina. Now, South Carolina's saying big FU. But let's take a look at Missouri since we know that market so well. Coffee is oh so good this morning. I got this new coffee today that I tried out. It's not bad. It smells really good, but it's I forget what brand it is. I don't want to get up out of my chair to look at it. Here's the load right here. St. Joseph, Missouri to Brighton, Michigan. Now this isn't until February 2nd, but so that's something, but let's sort this by pickup date. Let's see what the best loads coming out today are. Carthage to Fairfield, that's a good run. Let's see, Kansas City to Rogers, Minnesota. Notice they're not posting. Well, here, there's one posted rate for a load for today. North Kansas City to Albany, Oregon, $231 a mile, $4,300. Webb City to Denver, $348 a mile, $2,400. Independence to Remington, Indiana, $254 a mile, $1,200. Here we go, 403 to go to from Sedalia to Denver. That's going to be chicken. So let's take a look at this load here because this one picks up at 8 a.m. today, so it's already late. Delivers tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Now, you pick up something for Friday, especially if it's going to Kroger, but $2,800 food products. So I imagine this is probably chicken, fresh or frozen, I don't know. However, everybody who's ran a reefer and has picked up at a Tyson knows that there's usually a weight associated and frustration associated with Tyson. So, buyer beware on that one. So if I called on this low, I would say, hey, is this Tyson going to Denver? Yeah. What's your detention policy? And who's the broker on this? Circle Logistics. I have a little bit of history with them, but not much. Maybe try to get the detention up front. Like, hey, I know I'm going to sit there for 6 hours, so add this amount to the rate. And I won't bother you after the load's done. Winter produce is coming out of warehouses by the looks of the checkboard. When entering spot market, you can chase money or pick a triangle lane and stay in that area with some lower rates, but long-term, lanes and players better. Long-term equals long-term profits. Choice is yours. That's how I worked. That's how I try to work. I've never been a chase the money guy. I did a little bit at Landstar. I tried that method for a minute, and it just, at the end of the day, it was about the same. except I drove more. So my triangle was usually Missouri to Ohio, Ohio to Texas, Texas to Missouri. That was my triangle. That was my triangle at Landstar. That was my triangle in Schneider, and that was my triangle in the spot market. Or I was doing Missouri to Georgia, Georgia to Texas, Texas to Missouri, because they were paying more to go to Texas than Missouri out of Georgia. Or Georgia to Ohio, Ohio to Missouri. So hopefully it's frozen chicken, right? Yep. Cool Trucking, what's up? So anyways, guys, that's it for today's show. I'll look at flatbed real quick since Sandman's in here. We'll throw in flatbed and step deck. Looks better than it has, but not as good as it could be. So let's see if we take out step deck. What does that do? Not much. So there's your flatbed right there. By the way, Like Trucking has a step or a flatbed trailer for sale with all the gear, everything you need for it. Shannon showed it off on one of her YouTube shorts. So if you're interested, get a hold of Jeff or me. So CDN, another great show in chat. Thank you very much, CDN. You get the thought juices flowing. The thinkings, you get the thinkings going on. And that's a great strategy because other than that, I don't know what I'm doing up here. So if you want to support the channel, there you go. 48065 on the 123 low board. That's the code. If you want to try it out for 30 days for free, don't take my word for it. It's one of many tools that I use to book trucks and to keep people in business as much as I possibly can. So, other than that, that's it. So, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Aggression turns the screws. Be smart and be safe. Peace. Click.